A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development, the United States and Ukraine have sealed an economic partnership agreement that will grant Washington access to Kyiv's rare earth minerals. This deal, which has been in the works since President Donald Trump's return to the White House in January, comes after weeks of intense negotiations that at times turned contentious, impacting Washington's aid to Ukraine. The agreement was officially announced by the U.S. Treasury Department on Wednesday, marking a pivotal moment in the relationship between the two nations amidst the ongoing war with Russia. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent emphasized the importance of the agreement, stating, as the president has said, the United States is committed to helping facilitate the end of this cruel and senseless war. He further noted that the agreement serves as a strong message to Russia, highlighting the Trump administration's commitment to a peace process that prioritizes a free, sovereign, and prosperous Ukraine. Ukrainian Economy Minister Yulia Sviridenko, representing the Ukrainian government, underscored the terms of the agreement, asserting that full ownership and control of the resources will remain with Ukraine. All resources on our territory and in territorial waters belong to Ukraine, she stated on X, emphasizing that the Ukrainian state will dictate what and where to extract. The signing of the agreement came after a last-minute dispute regarding the documentation threatened to derail the deal. President Zelensky was initially expected to finalize the agreement during his Washington visit in February, but the deal was left unsigned due to a contentious meeting at the Oval Office. A major sticking point in the negotiations was the issue of security guarantees, with Trump initially insisting that Ukraine sign the agreement before discussing any security assurances. This led to a perception among Ukrainian officials that they were being asked to compromise their sovereignty. The agreement is seen as a strategic move for Ukraine, which is eager to ensure continued U.S. support in its fight against Russian aggression. Following a suspension of U.S. aid after the contentious White House visit, Ukrainian allies in Europe have also pledged to bolster their support for Ukraine. Trump has framed the agreement as Ukraine paying back for the aid received from the U.S. since the onset of the full-scale Russian invasion in February 2022. Bessent described the deal as a signal to the American public, indicating a chance for participation in funding and military aid for Ukraine. Although the specifics of the agreement have not been disclosed, Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal characterized it as a strategic partnership for investment in Ukraine's recovery and development. He clarified that the deal would not retroactively include assistance provided before its signing. Under the terms of the agreement, a joint investment fund will be established, with equal contributions and management shares from both the U.S. and Ukraine. Shmyhal noted that the American side could also consider new military aid as part of its contribution to the fund. This partnership is particularly significant given Ukraine's rich deposits of critical minerals, which have long been sought after by Western nations as alternatives to Chinese dominance in the rare earth minerals market. Ukraine's mineral wealth includes 22 of the 50 materials deemed critical by the U.S. Geological Survey, essential for electronics, clean energy technologies, and military applications. The U.S. has been keen to diversify its supply chains, especially given the geopolitical tensions with China. Despite the optimism surrounding the agreement, some experts have raised concerns about the reliability of Ukraine's mineral data, which is often based on outdated Soviet-era assessments. Additionally, the development of these resources could take years, with extensive lead times typical for mining projects. A significant portion of these resources is also located in eastern Ukraine, an area where the government has recently indicated a willingness to recognize Russian influence. The signing of this economic partnership agreement marks a critical juncture in U.S.-Ukraine relations, reflecting a mutual commitment to navigate the challenges posed by the ongoing conflict with Russia. As both nations look towards a future of collaboration, the focus remains on ensuring the sovereignty and prosperity of Ukraine in the face of adversity. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.